I'm Kate Finley. I chose Tomfoolery's Remington rifle piece. I'm really interested in how artists are using miniatures. And I'm kind of fascinated how people like to create these little mini universes with themselves. It's almost like a form of playing God. That, and I really like the humor and the banality behind these pieces, and the kind of kitsch Montana qualities that I've grown up around.
My name is Skylar, and I wanted to talk about the Paul Lerner portraits. I think what I look for in an artwork is something that moves me and makes me feel a certain emotion. And his work, albeit a little down in some ways or darker, allows me to get into the mind of his subject and really empathize with what I think they're going through.
I'm Leah Lewis, and I'm going to talk about Griff Williams' No Outlet. The first time I walked in here, I was drawn to it because it's so bright and it's exciting. The mountains really make me remember that first time I saw the Beartooth Mountains when I was a little kid, and I instantly fell in love with them. And when I was really thinking about it, it really made me reflect on how the mountains of Montana trap you in sometimes, but even more than that, when you move out of state to the flatlands and you miss those mountains and your heart is kind of trapped by the Montana mountains too.
My name's Nellie Lutz, and I chose to do one of Griff Williams' pieces. I chose this piece because it's the most vibrant piece in the museum currently. I like the combination of colors and also the stark black that he's incorporated in there. It's also very reminiscent of where I grew up. I grew up in Glacier Park, and so it reminds me of home.
Okay, so the first thing I was wondering is what this picture was doing in an exhibit on portraits. There is not a great deal of what I would call portraiture in there. Thankfully, there's a video that accompanies it. I'm presuming that this is like a time lapse of this painting coming into being, and here's something that looks a lot more like a portrait. I mean, to watch the blotches and splotches and everything go on there, and then the final, you know, whitewash, it's almost looks like it's a very frustrating experience for him. So this is perplexing. But I'm intrigued.
I'm Katie Hilmer, and this is my favorite work of art in the museum right now because I love the combined histories of all these different people, and especially love handwritten letters.
Hi, I'm Nick Dimitrovich. I really like Griff Williams' piece here. You stand back a little bit and they're so clean and they look so perfect. They're these hard, shining surfaces, but then you get close and you can see how he's painstakingly poured all of these resins that don't look like they're probably very easy to work with. You actually see that there's a lot of difficult work that goes into it, using a technique that, you know, is usually used in children's art to make something so organic and massive and colorful.
My name's Brooke Redpath, and this is actually my favorite piece of art in the museum currently. It creates a certain emotion inside of me. It actually reminds me of my grandfather that passed away fairly recently. I actually see a little bit of life and death in here. The skull and the red actually pop out to me a lot. It ties me back to how I feel about him. I love art in that way because it can bring you back to so many good memories. It gets me a little bit emotional, actually.
I'm Shane Williams. I like Griff's work that's currently on display here at the MAM. The color and the movement. There's a vibrancy there. The colorful stuff in the bottom here almost reminds me of like coral or a seabed. There are some recurring elements that are in it that are quite interesting. Things like animals' heads and stuff and that, and insects and what have you. The skull is a recurring element in all the pieces. It's kind of like a, Where's Waldo thing if you want to look for them.
I'm Kate Sundin. I love this Griff Williams piece. It just is a coincidence that my mom just passed away a couple weeks ago, and she loved butterflies, and her service had lots of butterflies in it, and I just love the image of these butterflies floating up to the universe. It's beautiful.